Hello, and welcome to Telgoo5 Talks, where we dive into the strategies, technologies, and trends shaping the future of wireless. Today, we're cutting through the noise of unlimited plans and network speeds to focus on something far more fundamental: the customer. In an age of endless digital choice, how do you truly connect to your audience? How do you give your brand a face, a personality, and a voice that actually resonates? Well, today, we're talking about the face of wireless. I'm Stuart Chowning, and I'm thrilled to be joined by a company that has absolutely mastered this art, PureTalk. Joining me is my friend Will Curry, Chief Strategy Officer of PureTalk, and we're going to discuss the incredibly successful approach built around a customer avatar that they call Hank, as well as their impactful partnership with TV personality Mike Rowe. Will, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Stu.
You bet. Will, PureTalk has famously identified their core customer as Hank. Can you walk us through the why behind creating this specific avatar? What was the aha moment where you realized you needed to stop speaking to everyone and start marketing to Hank?
Well, Stuart, I wish there was a story I could take credit for here that it was out of pure genius that we came up with this idea. But actually, like a lot of things in life, we found it through failure. And how that occurred was we had started investing in Pure Talk. It was pre-pandemic, 2018 or so, and we were investing in Pure Talk, and we were having mixed results, actually far more failures than successes. And we were trying what I think a lot of MVNOs do and try to go mainstream, but we didn't have necessarily the budget. We're kind of dancing around, and nothing's really delivering any real results. And one day, the aha moment was, what's the biggest kind of audience we can get with a reasonable CPM that could be effective? And we started looking around, and we noticed that the wireless space was wide open in the conservative radio market. So we said, well, who's the largest radio advertiser we can get on? And at that time, it was Rush Limbaugh. But we tried to get on there, but there was a process you had to go on. And it's a pretty wild story. But I got to test on Rush Limbaugh's radio show, for 2 weeks at zero cost to prove that with the ad folks over there to prove that it would work. And within the first day that we ran, it blew the doors off. I mean, it almost locked up our call center. Phone was ringing off the hook. And
Wow.
66 weeks after that, we were signed with the likes of Sean Hannity. And after that, leading into 2019, and into 2020, many other radio shows and personalities that we start. And so we developed an audience first. And then we were like, well, why? We had always had some patriotic and veteran themed, and there's reasons behind that, initiatives. But until we had a big enough audience, did we realize, okay, why are they making the choice to come to us? And that's when we discovered and kind of peeled the onion back a bit and found the layers of who Hank is, what drives them, where their affinities lie. And it got from there, it's kind of just been a snowball effect, really, of just growth year over year, quarter after quarter, going on 6 years, really, now, since we've made that decision to get into that marketplace.
It's truly remarkable, Will, what you guys have done, and I've been able to watch and witness that over time. You were talking about peeling back the onion. As we peel that back just a little bit, and as you guys learned who Hank was and his cohort, what are some of the characteristics that stepped out? Were there preferences or even dislikes that defined Hank? Is Hank focused on price, on patriotism, or on something else altogether? How do you know who Hank is and how to speak to
Well,
him?
it's certainly a blend of value and values. So the value, you have to have a competitive product. Are we the absolute bottom floor price? No. But we add tremendous value to our customers because 90+% come from the big three. So already we're going to, generally speaking, save 50% off everyone's phone bill we speak to. It's pretty easy. And then from there, we layer the values on top of there. And it starts with our US based customer service, 100% of our customer service, tech support, sales, chat, all conducted in the United States. Our platform built, maintained, all in the United States, zero outsourcing. The values we layer on just from the foundation of the company, and then it gets into the things we do and speak to our customers, whether it be Clint Romachet, Medal of Honor recipient, it's a brand ambassador for us, all the things we do for veterans and our partnership with America's Warrior Partnership, where we raise money every single day, pretty much every hour of the day. We raise money for AWP to prevent veteran suicide. Those things matter to Hank. So while they want to save money, But ultimately, they want a competitive wireless product. They're tired of a lot of the noise from the big three, and the years of being taken advantage of, $80, $90, $70 a line. They can come to us, save 50% on their bill while feeling good about it because they're getting US-based customer service. We're supporting our veterans and those various initiatives. It makes them feel good about the decision to give us a try.
Yeah, it really is remarkable. And I've seen your support of veterans and I've seen your support of these causes, and it really is inspiring for the rest of us. So well done, Will and the Pure Talk team. And so you've done this great job getting to know Hank or Hankettes. You get to know him as really a cohort and as a vertical or really a group here in the United States that has been somewhat underserved. And so as you took those first steps into conservative talk radio, were there other channels that you found can be effective in reaching Hank where he is and how he likes to be spoken to? Did you find any other ways to reach them, digital platforms and things of that nature?
Well, really, the cornerstone of our sales funnel is talk radio. A lot of it boils down to the CPM that equates to your CPA that makes it viable for you to invest in a customer. Again, prior to us really getting into the conservative radio market, we would try like one-off, more transactional relationships, meaning we wanted to pay someone a commission, if you will, to bring us a customer. That was not scalable,
Sure.
and we finally realized you got to put the money out there. You got to have you have to have it. You have to have the guts to go out there and say, I believe in my product. I believe in our message that and I believe in the audience. If I find the right conduit, they will come. And you got to put money out there to see what comes back. And it took us quite a while to build up to that. And then we build that funnel, and then you layer TV, digital experiences. We have several partnerships that help us find Hank. Partnership AMAC, it's a conservative group that's similar to AARP. That was pivotal in our early growth. So there's ways, but really you got to get the message out. You have to have a megaphone. And what we realized was you got to get the biggest megaphone that you can afford to get and be the most efficient with it.
Makes sense, and you guys have been doing a great job of that. And as you scream these messages like cutting the fat and supporting American jobs and American service men and women, why do you think that it's resonating so much more effectively with Hank than some of the competitors' message of simply unlimited and low cost?
Well, again, it comes back to the values play a big part in it. And we've found endorsers and folks and partnerships over the years that those customers, those listeners trust those voices. Those voices say Pure Talk's a good company, which I believe we're a great company. And they say that, you come out and they do these things, and this is someone that you want to do business with. So we survey our customers every month and every quarter on why they come to us. And the number one and two reasons: trusted voice, recommended us, and US based customer service. And so we offer those very well, and the other stuff we do.
Got it. You talked about a voice that they can trust, and your team has partnered recently with Mike Rowe, and he has taken sort of a central place in your brand. What made Mike Rowe the perfect deliverer for the message to Hank, and what does Mike Rowe bring to the brand that a traditional generic wireless ad could never
Oh,
achieve?
first, where do I start? Personally, huge fan of Mike Rowe for 20 plus years. I watched every Dirty Jobs. I watched Deadliest Catch when he first started there. And it was a dream of mine going back to probably 2020, 2021, that if we want to take Pure Talk to the next level, I'd love to do business with Mike Rowe. In fact, I think it was in late 21, we did a survey and we put up some of the largest names in sports, actors that, play Hank roles, all these things. And we surveyed potential customers, not even Pure Talk customers, but potential thousand, I think it was something like 20,000 potential wireless customers. And at the last minute, I said, put Mike Rowe in there. And we had conservative voices on there, professional athletes, professional actors, all seeing what Mike Rowe won hands down. And then from there, it was funny. Come to find out, he was trying to get a hold of us kind of at the same time. We were trying to get a hold of them. And finally, about 2.5, going on 3 years ago, we got connected on his podcast. And I had a Zoom call with Mike, and I said, damn, Mike, I've been trying to get a hold of you for years. And he goes, well, I've been trying to get a hold of you for 2 years as well. And he goes, I think this means we might have a great partnership. So And I said, look, I'm happy to be an advertiser, supporter of your podcast. I think we're going to work well together, but I have bigger plans. The reason I'm doing this is not just to be a podcast sponsor. I have some bigger ideas. And he says, I got the same thing. I got the same thoughts, Will. And so there we developed a relationship that's turned into a friendship. And my wife and I had dinner with Mike last week. I mean, he's a phenomenal guy. He's as genuine as they come. What you see on camera is Mike 100%. But what he's allowed us to do is, I'll give you an example. Years ago, we have some unique radio plays we do that gives extensive reach at a very low CPM. I'm talking ads that can reach 6-7 million people in a pop in a 30-second or 60-second spot. And we tried that with a generic voice, say 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago. We got maybe a dozen phone calls. We layer Mike into that now. And I don't even know, it's 1,000% increase or something. I mean, it's just off the charts successful. So what Mike does, what that partnership allows us to do is leverage media and get more out of maybe the same spend. He just doesn't magically make customers flock to us, but he's trusted, very well trusted across consumers, and the fact that it allows us to leverage media in a different way than we were ever allowed to do, able to do prior to our partnership with him.
Your team's doing an awesome job identifying who that underserved segment was. You've identified what really drives their decision making, the value and the values that you were talking about. You've now found a trustworthy, believable, and authentic voice in Mike Rowe. And so it really is remarkable, but it should come as no surprise then that identifying those three things and using them effectively, measuring the metrics and seeing the results, your team is seeing just an amazing explosion in activations and success, which is far beyond what you see in the traditional value play in the market today. And so that it really is remarkable. As you look ahead, what's the next evolution of Hank? Do you ever worry that the profile of Hank will be changing? And how do you monitor that? And how do you evolve with Hank as Hank may evolve a bit as well?
Well, absolutely. You got to keep your finger on the pulse of the market. We have Hank Jr. That's a segment that we identify internally, and we want to be able to speak to younger generation, which really Mike is doing a great job of today as well because of his support of skilled labor and the trades and those type things with the Mike Rowe Works Foundation. Mike is going and talking to teenagers of every demographic about, college isn't for everybody. We need electricians, we need plumbers, we need all of these things. We need hundreds of thousands of shipbuilders just to do what the Navy needs done over the next 10 years. So he actually speaks very well to Hank Jr. So we have a pulse on that, and we monitor it. Now, absolutely, we know radio and TV in its traditional forms are dying, are being less and less every year, just the way technology is going. So we test those new rails, and we're, optimizing our site and other things to make sure that we capture those opportunities. But as successful as we have been, there's still a long way to go in the Hank market. There's tens of millions of those. And, while I don't disclose our numbers publicly and we've had great success, we're not quite to that size yet. So we still have quite a big pool to go fishing in.
Totally understand. And from Telgoo5's perspective, we're helping bring on new MVNO all the time. And that's one of the cautions and sort of the cautionary tales in this business is that folks think that you can just become a wireless company, that you can have a nice low price and that you're going to go out and you're going to be able to just take the world by storm with a low price. But you can't outspend the big guys. You can't outgive from an offer perspective versus the big guys. And so to truly be effective, you have to identify your customer. You have to put a face on them. You have to know them. You have to know their needs and what's going to motivate them. And you have to speak to them in the channels and in the media that they want to speak to. You got to be where your customers are. And that produces a pretty powerful framework. I think the lesson, in this for all of us in the wireless and telecom space is really clear. Generic messaging equals a forgettable brand. And PureTalk success shows that investing the time and the dollars to define your customers, name them, speak to them authentically in their space and with a credible voice is the ultimate secret weapon. So you've truly given the wireless customer in this place a face. And so, Will, I just want to thank you so much. You've been so generous with your time today. You and I have been friends for over 10 years and
Yeah.
colleagues. And so your insights today are just as powerful as they've been. And so well done for the job that your team has been doing. This has really been a fascinating look at how your team identified your Hank strategy and continue to walk that out. For anybody listening here, you can learn more about Pure Talk on their website at puretalk.com. And so we encourage you to go there, bring all of your Hank friends and Hank Jr. We encourage you to sign up today. Continue to follow them. They're doing great work, not just in telecom, but in life. They're doing a great job highlighting the work of our servicemen and women. They're doing a great job of putting America first. And so follow their lead and continue to see what they're doing in this space. Will, anything else that you want to add to the conversation today?
No, I just want to thank you for the opportunity, Stuart. We love telling our story. We love our team members that help us achieve it every day, and we've got a lot more work to do, but we're very excited about the opportunity.
Awesome. Well, Will, again, a big thank you to you and thank you to all of our listeners. You can find more insights on customer segmentation and digital transformation at Telgoo5.com. We hope today's conversation inspires you to stop marketing to the masses and start talking to your own Hank. This has been Stuart Chowning for Telgoo5 Talks. We look forward to continuing the conversation with you. Until then, let's talk soon.